Welcome to week one of the Creating an Online Course workshop. In week one, we're going to talk about some background information on the Dominican College online program, including the schedules, the programs, the degrees offered, the New York State requirements, and a little bit about the template. So just to let you know about the class time requirements as required by the state. For a 3-credit course, we are supposed to have 37 and a half hours of virtual seat time. So that means that the way we've divided it up is that we have 32 hours of virtual class time, which in an 8-week course breaks down to 4 hours per week, not including assignments or homework. So what that means is that we need to provide 4 hours of different learning activities and videos, content of different sorts each week, not including what probably is about an hour, 2 hours of homework. The final 5.5 hours of credit hours for the course come from an independent component, which is 15% of the final grade. And we'll talk a little bit more about what that means when we get to it. But it's an in-depth and monitored research project on a topic agreed upon by the student and the instructor. And even though it's got that description, there's sort of a large variety of different types of independent components. We decided to create a course template, about 2 years ago, to increase or strengthen our brand identity, to ease navigation among courses, since some of these students may never actually set foot on Dominican campus. They're just popping into different courses with different instructors without having the benefit of talking to them about how everything works. So the idea is that the user interface is the same in every course so that they can go from one course to the next without having to learn a whole new structure, so they can focus more on the learning and less on just finding everything online. And also to maintain consistency across courses, to make sure we all have, more or less an equal amount of content and types of content. I mean, there's a lot of creativity within that, within the guidelines, but we want to make sure that the experience across courses is more or less consistent. So the course navigation and structure, you'll find the left-hand navigation has home, announcements, syllabus, the independent component, my grades, tools, and help. And you'll be able to see that right in this course. Home is where most of the content is, and what we'll be creating. Announcements you can write. The syllabus needs no explanation. The independent component, again, it's the 5.5-hour research project. My grades, tools, and help are all generated by Blackboard, although you can decide which of your assignments will be graded. The home screen has the course banner, the instructor teaching statement and photo, and an intro video, an overview of the course, navigation information for students, just in case they haven't had one of our courses yet or not that familiar with Blackboard. And then further down on the home page, and you can see in this picture, are 4 sessions. The 8 weeks of course content are divided into these 4 sessions. Generally, it's 2 weeks per session, but some courses have 1 week in one and 3 in another. It's really up to you, depending on how your content, how it goes together best. So there are the sessions on the home page, and there's the 2 weeks. They contain 2 weeks of content, but can do more or less. Once you're into the week of content, this is where there is some structure. Each week should have an overview, some kind of content that students watch, like narrated PowerPoints, video, podcasts. If you're going to have a virtual meeting through Zoom or Skype, a meeting information, then the discussion board prompts, and that will take them to the discussion where they interact with each other and with some material. Readings, quiz questions, homework, and tests and exams. Those all fall within the week's content that are in the session. Announcements, if you've ever used a Blackboard, you'll know you can actually post an announcement under the announcements tab, and it will be sent, you can have it sent to all of your students. So even if they don't go to the announcements, they will get the announcement. The syllabus, it's pretty typical of what we have for the campus courses, the course description with learning outcomes, textbooks, readings, weekly class work and assignments, the quizzes, tests, and exams, your discussion topics, and then everything's dated. And that's kind of important to, probably more important to make that very explicit in online course, since you won't have time to really remind them when you see them, but that everything has a clear date that it's due. The independent component, though, as I said, it's to compensate for the reduced seat time. It's made up of additional activities or a large assignment that goes beyond the course's standard reading, writing, and homework assignments. It's more in depth. It's more, independent, and that means that everybody kind of can pick their own topic. And it should require some research, and the topic should be worked out with the instructor in advance of doing it. But hopefully it's something the student has an interest in and would like to focus on in a more in-depth way. My Grades, Tools, and Help, as I said, those are generated by Blackboard. And here you can see where the help section is it's help for students. There is also help for instructors, but that's not in that main navigation. Common issues, the popular pages, there's another link for videos if they need to learn how to do something. The tools are usually are add-ons to Blackboard. So it's different things that you can, this is where you would add any kind of publisher content, but there are also other things like calendars if you want to use those tools in Blackboard. Nothing is required, but they are available. And finally, here is a map of the course as I've just sort of described it in a kind of, organizational chart mode. So to the farthest to the left, facing the screen, is the DC Online course. Then you see the three parts of the course where you add all your content for the most part. The homepage. That's the big one. It's got your teaching statement and your bio, the course overview and objectives, and then the 4 sessions. And as I said before, this is kind of a rehash of the whole thing. That in each session, there's usually 2 weeks of content. Each week has all of the items or some subset of the items that you see there, like narrated PowerPoints, YouTube videos, instructor videos, a Skype meeting, discussion board activities, readings that they might also discuss, quiz questions, and then a description of the assignments. Again, that's supposed to take 4 hours, and the homework assignments are in addition to that. Every session has that. A lot of instructors choose to put their midterm and finals in weeks 4 and 8, or you can obviously put them wherever you'd like. But that usually is the week's content, or maybe some kind of review and then the exam. So that's the home page, the big one. And then the syllabus. The syllabus tab has a place to put your syllabus, the Word document of your syllabus. It also has a place for due dates and major assignments. And then there's the independent component, which has the project description. Of course, in the courses, there are those other Blackboard generated sites. I didn't put those on here because you're really not going to have to add anything to those. So that's the main interface of the course and what you're going to be adding as you go along. And this map, I've got another version of it in the that you can print out if you wanted to help you kind of orient to where everything goes. But this sort of shows the content outside of the interface. So thanks.